Good evening, Star Pupils. I'm your host, friend, and life coach, Mrs. Divine, and I bridge the gap between intuition and intelligence. Look what happens when I start counting down. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She said go. When I start counting down, it's generally because I am getting to the feeling of frustration or anger. So I'm counting down to alert my child, normally, it's one of the two children, how I am choosing to deal with this emotion I'm feeling right now before it turns into something more hostile like anger, okay? So the 20-second countdown is my effort at meeting whatever I'm feeling, whatever emotion it is, head on, and being completely aware of it for 20 seconds before I decide the next course of action, okay? And so a lot of times it'd be like, hey, go clean up your room. And my son will say something like, let's say he says, in a minute, I'm busy right now watching TV. All right, so then that's something that would make me snap if that actually was what was going to happen. I was going to have to wait a few minutes for him to finish watching TV. So at that moment, as soon as I detect the way that I'm feeling inside, and I see that it has a potential to take me to another level, that will be a much more undesirable outcome for me and my child, I start to count down from 20. So when I get down to 1, what I do next depends on what happens in my reality, right? So if after I get down to 1 and my son has gotten up and, ran past me or walked past me and started cleaning his room like I told him to, then my reality will be different. It'd be a much more different kind of person I can present myself to be, and we can move on from there in much more higher vibrations, okay? If I got down to 1 and my child was sitting there looking for TV and looking at me like, yeah, you still waiting? Then my reality would have changed even more now, but not necessarily in the highest vibrations, meaning the most optimal results for me and the person I'm involved with. Okay, so now at this point, who knows what may happen? Some kind of punishment or something. But what happens is, if we do not deal with the feelings that come up inside of us, the emotions that come up inside of us, when we first sense its awareness, then we can allow that feeling or emotion to manifest into either a problem or feeling like anger, okay? And so the feeling like anger is something that we are used to feeling as a society. Turn on any TV show, turn on the news, just turn on the TV or watch a movie. You will see what kind of feelings society is familiar with and comfortable in. For example, you'll see fear, you'll see anger, you'll see gossip and drama, you'll see people not being kind to one another. Sometimes you'll see love, sometimes you'll see sex. All right, so there's certain feelings and emotions that society tells us it is okay to feel, or that it's normal to feel, or that we want you to be aware of this. But then there are so many emotions and feelings that happen in between those that we don't necessarily categorize. For example, we can't say that is lust. We can't say that is, the chills, okay? So you don't have a word for it because everything isn't something that can be labeled in the first place. So we don't have a word for it. So we allow ourselves to feel it and we ignore the feeling just because we can't label it, okay? So we have to get in the habit of becoming conscious and aware of our feelings and emotions, even if they don't have a category, okay? And so then that's when symbols and metaphors and things like that get into the mix. That's why these things are important. For example, if I say that if I was talking to a person and it felt as if a gray cloud was following them, okay? Now, some may say, oh, you mean depression, they're depressed. Some may say, do you mean that they were sad? And some may say, do you mean that they were moody? Okay? But we all generally know that feeling if someone says it in a way that there's a metaphor. Okay? If we can make you have an image in your head, then that is a symbol, right? So it's very important for us to remember that what we feel happen within our body is considered a general feeling, okay? So if somebody disrespects me or I feel disrespected, I may feel hot inside, right? And so then it's up to me as a conscious being that I am to decide how I want to interact with that feeling that I'm feeling. To avoid that feeling is to allow it to manifest into something bigger. By that I mean, avoiding something or ignoring something is not you dealing with the problem. Ignoring something or avoiding something is you allowing that problem to stack up with the next one and the next one, or that feeling to stack up with the next one and the next one. Eventually, that feeling is going to get so big, or that problem is going to get so big that now you are forced to deal with it and you seem less powerful. Meaning, this feeling can turn into something like anger now, because when somebody gets to the point of anger, anger is a combination of a bunch of different emotions that finally translated to you into anger. And it translated to you into anger because that is something that we have been taught to feel. We have been taught to feel anger, so we know how to detect anger when it finally shows up. But to deal with anger means that you have been letting a feeling stack up and a feeling stack up and a feeling stack up that was sent to cause you awareness to deal with this now before it turns into something bigger, and you ignored it, okay? And so that is like you knowing that you need to go grocery shopping, and you avoid it because you're tired, you don't feel like it, you're waiting for this, you're waiting for that. And then finally, you're making your meal and you're in the middle of cooking and you realize you don't have a key ingredient that you need to make what you have to make. And you happen to not have your car because, I don't know, you let somebody borrow your car. And now you are just sitting there mad because you can't finish the dinner and you're basically going to waste things or whatever. Okay, so that happened because you were aware of a situation that you needed to go grocery shopping and you kept avoiding it. So you allowed it to get bigger, 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 grown enough energy where now you feel as if you're wronged or it's knocking you down a couple of levels instead of making you feel a way that uplifts and inspires you, okay? So this can happen if we are avoiding things. This can happen if we are not being aware and tuning in to our feelings, whatever they may be, however they may look. Again, it doesn't have to be happiness, love, sad, mad. It can simply just be either a thought that comes across your head that puts the image in there, like let's say, an egg breaking, okay? You experience something or somebody says something to you and you think of an egg breaking. That's a sense, right? That's a feeling. Whatever that feels like to you, whatever that means to you, that's what that is, all right? It doesn't have to be labeled for you to understand that it has come to your awareness. Any feeling is a sense, and that just means that you have become aware. If you get into the habit of dealing with and confronting your feelings or a situation right when it comes into your awareness in whatever way, shape, or form, it could be a thought, it could be an actual, like, physical touch feeling. You could feel your blood boiling. You could feel butterflies in your stomach, whatever. If you get into the habit of detecting these feelings and becoming very aware of it and conscious and dealing with that feeling, then you will attract more alignment in the reality that you choose to experience in your universe. Meaning, you're attracting your power of consciousness. Once you become aware of something, you are able to navigate whatever that is into your universe, okay, into your reality. So if you practice consciousness, the more you practice it, the more it will keep coming to you. If you practice awareness, the more you keep practicing it, the easier it will be for it to come to you. Okay, if you ignore it, then that means that you are not paying attention to you. You are not paying attention to the things that you are picking up. And so then life is going to start happening to you, because when you were presented with opportunity to do something about the life that was manifesting right before your eyes, if you choose not to do anything, then you're allowing whatever to manifest to just keep manifesting, not knowing your role in the manifestation, okay? So yes, there are some instances, or some people are in that mental state where their reality is trapped in the fact of there's all these things that happened before they came into consciousness. There are all these things that happened before they came into their own sense of understanding who they were. So they realized basically how they felt kind of powerless from the start, right? And so the trick is to realize that you're not there anymore. You have to realize that what happened in the past all happened for this grand moment right now. How much awareness are you carrying from that, where you know now it ain't the same, you're not the same, and you have control? Once you start to realize your control, you start to practice consciousness, you start practicing being aware, and you start basically calling for more awareness, because the more you practice something, more it becomes a part of you. Then the more aware and conscious you're going to be. That's the more aligned your world will be and your reality will be toward what it is that you think is your optimal, best living experience here. So if I'm going to give you an example, right? What I mean by ignoring versus dealing with a feeling, or ignoring versus dealing with a problem, okay? Your car, okay? Your car has needed its brakes done, right, for a while. You finally get your brakes done, okay? There's a light that needs to be changed too, but you can manage with your brights on so you don't get the lights fixed, okay? And then you need tires, okay? You find out you need a new tire or two. So then you take it to get a new tire. So basically, taking it to get a new tire is a solution of fixing that one problem. Understanding those little problems as a whole is a realization that you may need to start looking for a new car soon. And I'm not just saying because regular maintenance stuff, right? I'm saying that these are just like things that are mandatory that you fix while you notice in other things, right? So you have to start wrapping your head around the fact that this is all saying basically I need a new car. So to address this situation would be to start planning to get you a new car. To ignore this situation would be just to keep fixing the things that you need to fix when you have the money to fix them. And then eventually, if your car breaks down, you may feel like you may be at a complete disadvantage, right? How are you going to get to work? How are you going to have enough money for a new car? You know, things like this, because you decided to not address the situation, not face the feelings you were feeling, what you were noticing head on while you still had the advantage, meaning before the car completely broke down. So if you're like, okay, I need a new car eventually, and you start saving already, then if it breaks down, it breaks down. And now you gotta, get you another car. Another example of how dealing with something versus ignoring something, right? So let's say that you have 3 friends who are coming to visit you, right? And we're going to compare these friends to different kind of feelings. You have the friend love, you have the friend sleepy, and you have the friend hungry. Okay, love comes to your front door. You tell them, come on in, but you're still in your room getting dressed, okay? So you sense that it's there, but you haven't interacted with it, right? Because you're still doing other things. You're distracted. You're getting dressed. The door knocks again, and it's Sleepy. Sleepy comes in. So Love and Sleepy are both in your front room hanging out, and you're like, I'll be right out. So you let it know that, ooh, I'm feeling something, but I'm not interacting with y'all right now because I'm still distracted. I'm still doing other things. I'm still doing me. Then, who was it? Love. Oh, Hungry. Now Hungry comes in, and Hungry's there with Love and Sleepy. It's Love, Sleepy, and Hungry. And they're like, yeah, we're still waiting. And you're like, I'll be out in a bit. So you're still distracted and stuff like this. So now, when you're done getting ready, you're going to come out, and you're going to be greeting Love, Sleepy, and Hungry all at the same time. All at the same time. As opposed to if when you were getting dressed and the doorbell rang and Love entered, you went out and talked to Love. Hey, Love, how you doing? Whatever. Yeah, Okay, I'm going to go finish getting dressed because, other people are coming and we got to get ready to go. Okay, you go back and get dressed. Then the doorbell rings this time. Now Love is kind of like sitting down somewhere. Maybe even will say, hey, I'm going to go run to the gas station real quick, or, I don't know, take this phone call or something. I don't know. But it's free to do other things now because you have met with it and engaged with it, and it knows its role and what to expect from you. Even if it's, I'm just going to sit down on the couch and wait. And so then when Sleepy comes in, you deal with them the same kind of way. You deal with it, do whatever you need to do. And then when Hungry comes in, you deal with it whatever kind of way. So now you didn't have to come out and meet 3 different things at once and interact and deal with everything at once. You literally worked with it as it came. And so now it's not overwhelming. Now it's not 3 different things to be addressed or a big ball of a emotion that sometimes you don't even know how to categorize this emotion. You just become emotional because you're full of emotions, okay? So I say all that to say, be aware of your feelings. Be aware of the fact that feelings can come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. A feeling can simply come from just your fingers tingling, okay? Somebody says something and your fingers tingle, or you have an itch behind your ear, or your neck or something, or you find yourself like, making a face and realize you just made a face without even understanding what you just heard. It was just something that made your body react, okay? A feeling can be an image, like I said again. A feeling can be even just a loud sound or disruptive sound when something is coming through. Feelings come in all shapes, sizes, and forms, and you can realize your level of consciousness when you're able to detect your feelings and deal with them way before they have a chance of disrupting your reality in a way that you don't want to be disrupted. Okay, you understand the control that you have by the decisions that you make and how to lead yourself on a path of awareness and lead yourself on a path of that life that you wish to create through consciousness. all because you are paying attention to your different senses. And again, that goes with your 5 or 6 senses, which is that intuition that I always talk about. And being aware like that will make a difference in your world. So if you're a person right now who finds it really hard to be living life, or like the cards are never in your favor, or like something is always happening, or like it's always you, and there's no one else who helps you or even is trying to get on the right track, all those things come from decisions that you're making or feelings that you're feeling and are not choosing to experience fully, right? So either avoiding them or ignoring them. There are some decisions that you need to make that you are avoiding making, whether that's to leave the person what you're with, or if that's for you to stop drinking, or if that's for you to be kinder to others or kinder to yourself. Or if it's for you to eat more healthy. There are these decisions that we must make. A lot of times they're things we don't want to do or things that we find hard to do, but it is things that we definitely must do so that we can be more in control of the reality, or not even more in control. That's the horrible word for it. So that we can be more conscious and aware in this reality that we are experiencing. Okay, that's what we want. We want to be more conscious and aware in the fact that how powerful we are, right? We want to be more aware with the fact of how powerful that we are in this current reality. So thank you for listening to me, Star Pupils, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.